Today is, I don't know, it's Monday. And it is the 29th of April. And I'm not sure why that is important, um, but Spirit has already has me in, hey, your computer's not working. And so I've been working on that for 30 minutes. And that's a sign. I mean, when you have constant interruptions in your space, that's a sign, it's a pattern. And a lot of times it has to do with the way that we were programmed. Hello, Amy. Thank you for joining me. So, you know, hi, Lisa. These little issues that happen, they're a sign. Now, I speech. Okay, so we have technical difficulty in the mouth area. All right, I'm just going to wait. They're trying to talk to me, and there's other information coming in. And okay, so we're just going to say hi and how are you? And glad you could join me. It was so funny because I was so wrapped up in talking to people this morning that I looked at the clock. I got 45 minutes to figure out how to get ready, look good, and then jump on. And the computer says, we're going to have an issue. We're going to update. I'm like, I can see it as stalling, or I have this disruptions to get to my goal. So it's part of a pattern or a strategy. And so it's something that needs to be looked at because spiritual investigation is such an important key into, where did my screen go? Well, believe me, it's important investigation because a lot of you, my screen's completely gone, so I have no idea if you're here. Okay, it just popped back in. Oh, good. Some new faces. That's wonderful. Okay. We're going to talk for a few minutes about, and like I said, I have no idea if it's going to get glitched or popped. Do please share. That's the wonderful thing. If you hit like and love, love button, whatever, then I usually send you a card. If you are new to me, and then I usually send you a card, but you have to look inside the video. Sometimes I'll send it to your Facebook Messenger, and even if we're not friends, sometimes they allow me to just send it anyway. So I do my best to honor that. So even if you don't get a card, if you don't get to communicate with me, then there's other ways of receiving information. Sometimes you can, when you share, I give you, as long as it's shown to me that you shared, because that's what they say at the top, then I go ahead and I give you a card for that too. So you can have 2 or 3 cards that can really tell you a story. I can't tell you how many people have wrote me back and says, "Oh my God, I was just thinking that," or yeah, I was contemplating this, or yes. Okay, so is anybody else having it so there's glitches? I'm hoping that my computer, I had already restarted it twice. I'm hoping that this doesn't screw up too much because, hey, what's funny is I don't know how that happens, but it says top fan. Don't get that. And sometimes it says people shared, and then I know they shared, but it doesn't say they shared. So why is it important to understand between you and who you were? Well, you have to measure against yourself, not anybody else. It's not a race to enlightenment. You begin to wake up. Now, I will just tell you that years ago, I was just like every other person out there. And I started to really get involved in religion. I wasn't a Jesus jammer. I didn't believe in that. I believed in witnessing how God moved in my life. But at the same time, I could feel through synchronicity, through hearing the numbers, to seeing how the events all come together. And was I really spiritual? In a religious sense, I knew that I had angels guiding me and talking to me and all of this. That's one aspect. And then another aspect was I couldn't talk to my religious friends because they're like, oh, no, that's not how religion works. And it's like, wait, what? And then when they started telling me, you're not supposed to like that kind of people, I'm like, wait, what? Love is love. And so love is a very important key. So when you meet somebody that says and accuses you of their problems, then understand that they are not really connecting up to that higher self, to that heart, to that innermost part of themselves that allows them to evolve. Okay, does this make any sense? And if you are running up against somebody that is a left brainer, I have nothing against left brain, but when you're disconnected and you're left brain and you're living in the paradigm of the world, which is to blame others and to be in the victim stance and just living your health, which is having all your issues compile at once and you always have the same reaction. Excuse me. So there's different levels of where you're at. You're not better than anybody else, but you're awakening. Now, those people are catalogs of life of where were you at? Understand that these people are you. They're an aspect of you. And they can help you see stories that you've seen before. But it also helps you to be vulnerable and courageous. You cannot have vulnerability and courageous. They have to be together. They're always together. If you're not willing to step in the ring, you're never willing to thrive in life. If you're always standing in, you step out in that ring, but then you get beat down, and you then put up bricks and walls to protect your heart, then you're not really jumping into your spiritual arena. I feel like I'm not speaking with justice here, but they said just keep going. You will run across people that are learning to come out of their slumber. It's like when you saw something you never saw before, you cannot unsee it. You begin to take different levels in your steps, and you begin to broaden your horizons a little bit more. And then you go to talk to people that you used to be with, and they can't comprehend you. You're growing, and you should not be ashamed of it. People have been doing it on this planet all the time. But it is when you step into the arena of the world of just saying hello, not knowing what the outcome is going to be, but you're willing to do it because you know that that's part of your growth. Now, you can have a great connection and you can move forward. Or you can be beat down by the world, by those people that are not in your space. They are the shadow. And the question remains, why? Why did my soul project that? And when you talk to some people, they won't understand that. You're blaming me? No. You've got to understand the soul. So as you begin to wake, you have different levels of who you are. And what I begin to teach is spiritual investigation. It's about becoming that spiritual human. And it has nothing to do with religion. You can be any religion, any color, any whatever, gender, whatever you want to be. You have got to be willing to stop looking at your issues as flaws. Because if you stand and say that they're wrong, then you just told God that you were wrong to create me. I want you to find worthy in yourself. I have flaws, but I don't see them as flaws. I see them as this is how I've created myself. This is how I've responded to myself. You begin to balance the left brain and the right brain. You begin to wake up and notice that there is another part of who you are. And that's what you used to be. That's where you were. And each those steps of who you are is perfect. And when you project other people to tell you that you're not, you got to understand that is a truth that's not real. But it could be just your story. This is very important. When our right temporal junction parietal lobe begins to develop as a child, it helps us think what other people think. And if whatever combination of chakras and meridians and personality that your soul wants you to go through, you begin to tell yourself stories instead of what's really happening. But you begin to be in the imaginary state that becomes unhealthy because you're looking at your wound and you're saying, it's because I did something. It's because I don't like that part of me. And that, I've learned, is not really being connected to your heart or your higher self or to God. Because when you connect to the spirit and that love pours through, wow, I'm losing power because I believe that? Oh, that's the story I'm telling myself? I can choose a better emotion than that. And it has nothing to do about other people. But when other people come to you and say, it's your fault my life turned out this way, you can look at your heart and say, I choose to value everything they say and I believe them, even though that's not you. Rethink. You need those people out there to see where you're losing power, to see where you grow. When I see that that was the person that they chose to be. This is the paradigm that they chose to see through. And I can see where I was, and I can measure my growth and go, wow, there has been growth. So I don't usually measure it by my birthday as much as I do the beginning of the year. And I do it again on my birthday, and I do it like pretty much, I live a breathe, a walk, a talk, a dream it, and I be it, and I do it every day. And so when I begin to look at what's in my space that I can't see, then I'm going to see the contrast happen. And it's not that I'm stupid, it's just that you have not developed the ability to grow above so you can see what's on that counter and go, oh, well, that's just trash. I can take that out. Or you haven't developed that ability to be vulnerable but have courage to do it. So I highly suggest you watch Brene Brown on Netflix. And something about chasing the courage or something courage. But the vulnerability and the courage is very important. Now, how do I get to here? I did a lot of healing. You guys don't understand. I Spirit read, gave me instructions. I use tools. A lot of people get read, and then if they're in the left brain, disconnected from their higher self and not using their heart, and they're in that paradigm, they're going to see me as the enemy. How dare you point out my flaws? How dare you? It's my life turned out like shit because you just don't want me to touch your demons. You don't want me to touch your stories. You don't want me to touch your identity. And I'm not going to hurt you. And I wouldn't even consider changing your identity without your permission. But when you come to me and you say you want something done and you do it, and then you're hurt afterwards because there's a part of you that doesn't want to let go of your identity or your pain and your suffering, you have to own that. You need to begin to see, do you choose happiness? And if that's the case, thank you, Spirit, for helping me do this with grace and ease. But if you want to stay into that identity and that pain and that suffering, remember that's still a choice. And there's nothing wrong with that. But don't be hurting other people just because you're hurt. When you have pain and you say you're spiritually awake and you have pain, you're not supposed to inflict it into other people. Spiritual development is when you have pain and you process it through and you say, give me 5 minutes, maybe a week, but you don't dwell in it. You feel it. And you feel that rawness and you're vulnerable, but you have the courage to grab a tool and learn that there's actually something that you can do that can disrupt the pattern, the strategy, the emotional components. You can do something about it. Because when you're in that state, you're like, well, fuck, nothing's going to happen. But when you begin to break down those chemical peptides and you begin to learn the different stories, it isn't about being anal going, oh, whose fault is it? No. As understanding the mirror. You don't have to use shame in order to cover up your pain. You don't have to cause pain in order to release your pain. That is the old way. When you begin to wake up and you feel this pain, yeah, sometimes you need to process it out. But be careful of who's in your line of fire. Because karma is going to come back to you. Karma is that energy that's off balance, and it will correct itself. So if somebody's out there being mean to you, understand they're going to incur the karma. But if you're going to live in revenge and you're going to do whatever to hurt somebody else, you're going to incur karma because you're throwing the energies off. So what you put out is what comes back. It doesn't just happen to bad people. It happens to every single soul that chose to take human form. When you begin to develop relationships with me, there'll be a part of me that will stop. If I'm giving to you too much and I realize that, I will stop. Not because of you, it's because of the karma. I don't want to incur any karma on myself. I wouldn't want to hurt you because that means I have to incur karma on myself. I already worked through that shit. I don't need to keep repeating the story. But when it pops up and it's in your view, understand these are rings out from you. And these rings tell you that, one, you can't see it. So here comes the bitch slap. So you'll be whispering opportunities. You can learn and heal with whispers because you're intentionally choosing to look at your life. Or you can find bee stings to bitch slaps to fly in bitch slaps. These are things you won't let go of. Your identity will be checked by your soul. So, what you don't take care of turns out to be fate. But when you take a handle and you begin to understand, and when you begin to look through your soul, listen to the soul language, listen to your spirit, and it's a whole nother language, and you begin to see life as a mirror, then all you can do is look at souls that volunteered to be the enemy that day. You're like, oh my God, you're willing to, your whole idea is different. You learn to put boundaries up. You learn to separate yourself. You learn that that's not who you are anymore. And it's okay to lose your family and friends because you don't need to be a punching bag. You don't need to be that person anymore. And I have the pen. I get to decide. Do I want to choose unhappy today? I can choose a better. And we're an amazing people. And I've learned another healing technique that I finally decided, okay, I had no choice. And Spirit says, it's right here. There's actually two they brought through. It's right here. And I'm like, all right, let's see how it works. So I'm doing it on myself. And once I see how it really progresses, then I'm going to introduce it to the rest of the world. This is stuff that's already been on the planet. And other people are already doing it. But I usually don't give you information until I've experienced it myself. So, oh, thank you, Lisa. She says, you've already changed my life. I'm so happy and excited for my future. And here's the beautiful thing. When you look at your life, and it's not that it has to be shit, it's just that you can feel when it's not in a line. And you can begin to see patterns. Oh my God, I just saw that yesterday. And I saw that, it's a pattern. Wait, do I really want that? When you step up and then you all of a sudden get a reading. What is a reading? It shows you where your energy has gone and where it's going. And you're like, oh. And then when we begin to solve all those emotional puzzle pieces, your soul becomes happier because it starts to release all of those stories that aren't true. It allows you to go to that next step on your adventure, and you realize after a while, you just took a major leap. When you begin to heal, you'll wake up happy, and you're like, wait. But if you heal just right, you don't have to worry about the other shoe dropping because you already know that you're getting to be connected, and spirit is, universe is on your side. You just have to let go of some of those old beliefs, those old feelings, those old stories. And Jennifer Margaret says sometimes words come out when you've been trauma triggered. Not that I would want that to be the case now, but it does happen. Yes, and the thing is this is where, when you stand in a soul position, it's not that your issues go away, it's just that you see them differently, they become less, and you begin to have more joy, and you begin to understand that you don't have to take up residency there. And then all of a sudden, when you find a trigger because that emotion hits, because you stopped feeling it, and then all of a sudden you hit, your soul says, I think you're ready. You can heal it now. And all of a sudden you're like, but if you are doing this on a spiritual journey with me, you begin to stop seeing you as just human. And your higher self begins to see your ego and your person, and you're like, oh shit. But you don't lose your connection to higher self. You don't lose your connection to your heart. You don't have to put up walls. You're just like, oh my God, I gotta feel this. Don't waste it. Grab a tool. Use a resolving tool. And all of a sudden that begins to become less. Your thoughts become to the and then the emotions subside. And the next thing you know, you're like, huh. And then you begin to put joy back in your life. And then when you begin to tap in love into yourself, and all of a sudden your whole outlet changes and the energy becomes more balanced. And then your inner world creates this beautiful outer world. And you're like, shit, it's always been here? So it becomes a very wonderful awakening. And when you begin to look back, you're like, oh my God, I don't want to be what I was last week. You can't be, because you're different. But your patterns will tell you that you're exact same. All you are is a program. But when you begin to wake up, get out of that matrix of the program, you realize that you're spirit. And you don't have to be locked into that program. And you don't have to run to the end of your timeline and have to figure out how to control it so you don't die. That doesn't allow you to be vulnerable and courageous to live. It just says, oh, this is how I control the matrix inside the matrix, and this is how I'm supposed to live, and there is no life. Yes, change. Catherine says, life doesn't move without change. Absolutely. Change is constant. I change the direction of my face. I change people think that change just has to be that you have to stop being that person because somebody told you so. When you're coming from that left brain, because that's the negative side as far as when it gets very scared when it's separated from spirit. And when it separates from the right side, it becomes, it's all hell. It's all negative. And then it's all compartmentalized. It's down to, oh, this is the problem. That's the... When you connect with your right side and your left side and connect to your higher self and your heart, it sounds complicated, but you were created that way. You just separated. Change is that I just changed the direction of my hand. I just changed my feeling. I just changed. And it can be that simple, but it can't be if you don't allow yourself to redefine life. Yes, Diana says you're teaching more of this every day, and it's so important when you begin to learn about what is spirituality. I mean, some people are saying, oh, just affirmations are spirituality, and reading signs are spirituality, and having crystals is spirituality. You know what? Those are baby steps. You haven't even entered that soul part of you that is about spirituality, because is when all of a sudden you don't have to be vulnerable and be in so much pain and then be run for the hills and blame others and be in that paradigm. It's when your hunger for someone to say to you, you lost power here. You hunger to hear, oh my God, deprived. And it's not about saying, oh, give me just good, happy thoughts. It is, shit, I have been focusing on this crap and I didn't even know I was. But there it is. But you don't see it as pain. You don't see it as flaws. You don't see it as that. And then when you can grasp a tool and to resolve those, then I would say you're spiritually evolving, and that you're a spiritualist, and that you're moving forward, and you're not just faking it. And these people aren't faking it. It's just that they haven't taken that next leap of letting go of that paradigm and that program and that matrix. So you begin to feel free from all of it. Yeah, Trina says, feel free when feel free when you process and move past things and have more balance. It's amazing when you get to that balance point, because all of a sudden you're like, you mean I'm happy? But if you have all of a sudden another thought out of those 41 thoughts per minute, you're going, what? No, wait. And then all of a sudden there's a little fear trigger. Let's trigger. Heal it out. You know? So if you want a reading, if you want a paid reading, I'm open to that. That's $11 for 11 minutes, and you get really involved in it. If we talked on the, if you, if we're friends and I called you through Facebook video, we wouldn't look at the video; it'd just be audio, and we would then have that. What do you call it? The reciprocity faster. Okay, Marcy said, this is for me. My daughter told me that it's my fault that she can't carry babies to term. She told me it was my fault her baby dies. You got to remember, she's in pain. When you have pain, you inflict pain, and it's usually the ones that you love the most. If you grew up in the world where it is left brain world that's not connected to the right or the heart or the higher self, then it is the paradigm that says you're supposed to blame. You're supposed to stand at the victim. Because when you're upset, when your world's upset, and what will happen is there will be this disconnect. If you don't know how to keep it connected, your life just does not make any sense. Your brain doesn't make sense, and it's insanity. Oh my God. And you just want that insanity to stop. And the only way that you can do it is that you watch how other people do it, and it is the flick pain. It's your fault. And that is the thing, because they're trying to figure out how to process their pain, and they're not doing it in a very healthy way. And sometimes when you're in emotional crap, I mean, my mother died. I did my best to take care of her. She's told that she's going to die in a year and a half. She lived 4 years. And I still had my sister come up to me and say, you know what? Why'd you let mom die? I was like, what? Where were you? She never came to visit. And yet, and then Spirit said, shh, grain of salt, grain of salt. I said, oh. And then Spirit decided to tell me that that's her story. That's the only way she can survive this. This is why she has to go through and to drink and to do things and to be this and to do that, because she doesn't know any other way to process. And you're like, okay. But it doesn't mean you have to take, it doesn't mean you have to take the pain. Now, at the time, I personally was hurt. And I said, what the hell? And then I thought, oh, so wait. Why am I believing that she's correct? Why do I care what she thinks? You know, why? Why should I care? And why am I choosing that? Why is it's her pain, and why am I taking it on? Why am I taking and it was just one of those beginning of waking, and Spirit says, remember, a grain of salt. She is the part of you that you maybe deep down you blame yourself that you could have done more. You can't. And I was like, oh. It's up to the soul to make the choice. It's not her fault and it's not your fault. I don't care if it looks like you both did something to make it your fault. That soul still made the choice to make an exit. You didn't create the exit. The soul created the exit. The soul already had the contract. You just decided, I'm going to be the soul that raises my hand to step in and help you decide how you're going to do your life. Issues have nothing to do with blaming. Issues are things that people have been trying to process for years. Inherited shit is that people have not, the first person, whoever it was and whenever it was, experienced that feeling and that pain and didn't know how to process it. And then that gets passed down to the next one, and that gets passed down to the next one. Nobody's to blame. The first time you have a feeling you've never experienced before, especially if it's not a positive one, can freak you out. And it can push you to the edge because you don't know what to do with it. So, see, and it doesn't matter. Marcy says it has always been my fault because I didn't stay married to her father. He was abusive. Now, the thing is that whatever story they have to tell you is the way that they're processing the pain. Do you have to believe it, Marcy? Kids are not going to understand until, like, I was talking to my friend Jennifer, and it's amazing because all of a sudden one night we were thinking, shit, I'm the same age as what my mother was. oh my God, I totally understand why she acted the way she did and she did the way she did. And they'll never get to be in your shoes. Now, sometimes you can get that awakening and they can be in your shoes. But people have to go through a process of awakening to get to the age you are. They've never been that age yet. But when they get there, usually people start following the same pattern and the same program. And it's usually the epiphanies that come in the 40s and 50s and higher. And you will watch older people just mellow because they got into the stage of, I don't have to do this. And you go to that next stage and you're like, oh, we have got to stop taking it personal. We have got to start noticing when we lose power. Somewhere along the way, whatever, this is why the readings are important. Yeah, when people start to blame, now what's interesting is I've had a lot of people that did stuff and said stuff, and I question why would they do that, and again it boiled down to my mirror said that, okay, the left side of your brain only processes it in a not condition. So I've had to learn, and this is part of that healing technique, and is that it only listens to. I no longer believe that I'm uncooperative. I think I'm a very cooperative person. But that doesn't matter here. It's about the program. It's the truth. It's a lie that's lodged. And when that happens, you then all of a sudden begin to see where in life it pointed it out. It happened at birth. It happened at 2. It happened. What? And then you start seeing it's really a particular pattern. People have told you that you were uncooperative. And even though you have done your best to say, I'm not that, you're still holding the not truth. And that sets the GPS. This is one reason why this healing is important. I know what post-hypnotic suggestions mean. And when I've seen people do post-hypnotic suggestions, my mother died because somebody had to throw their truth out there, which was not my mother's or mine. But she threw it out there. I was so shocked and so angry. And then my mother died exactly 30 days to the day, just like she said. Oh, she'll be dead in 30 days. And I was like, why would you say that and scream it out so loud? She's just in the next room. You're just taking away her hope and faith. And the lady is like, get real. And I'm thinking, you need to lose your nurse license. And I watched that post-hypnotic suggest. And then I watched it again and again and many other people. And I just saw it. Again, just recently, one of our tribal members, she passed. And I was just like, what? But I knew that post-hypnotic suggestion was there. I just didn't know how much it set the GPS system to be in that direction. Completely floored me that I didn't act sooner. And it was like, wait. I didn't create her exit. She did. I understand this. But just for a few minutes of being disconnected from your right brain and your higher self and your heart, all of a sudden you go in that old program. And I'm like, why am I going here? And it becomes the not, when it becomes a not truth. And when your left brain starts believing the not truth that somebody pointed at you and said, and that's still in there, that's like a post-hypnotic suggestion. And it doesn't matter how much you don't display it, it will show itself. How can someone get over sexual abuse? Well, let's see. There was incest at 5. There was molestation at 7. Rape at 13. Almost a rape at 18. And then used as a, I love somebody else, not you. And then used as a, and those are very hurtful. Let me tell you what to do. It'll take time. you need to make an appointment with me, because if I had used timeline therapy, NLP, I have used, and they all began to work a little bit. I've used EFT galore, and then I sat down and did hope therapy. And I started to look at the pictures, the sounds, all of the sensory system. And as I began to pull those out using hope therapy, this is hope therapy, people. Oh, my whole body just started to release. My cells didn't have to believe that story anymore. And when I think of the stories, they're just memories. There's no emotions attached to them. You begin to move in a whole different direction and you don't realize that it's beginning to go, because you're like, oh, it's still there, and you keep. But as long and I didn't really have to do that many sessions. I have helped many people get over their thought processes that drive you crazy when it comes to self-abuse, when it comes to sexual abuse, when it comes to this abuse. It's the self-talk that drives you bonkers. Those thoughts are fueled by emotions that are trapped. And that makes those thoughts go freaking wild again and again and again. But if you start to resolve those emotional chemical peptides from those thoughts and pictures in the sensory system, wow, your whole life changes. Those all of a sudden those thoughts calm down, and you're like, wow, things just seem brighter, look different, smell different, taste different, and you're willing to let love in. Yep, Sharon, I'll get with you soon. Thank you so much, Sharon. She just paid for reading. Thank you for honoring me. Let me just get through any of this stuff here. Lisa says, my mom did so much to me in my life. I changed my life, beliefs, my letting go of who I was. Yes, at a very young age. Because of you, I'm getting back to who I am, who I'm supposed to be. So excited in my life. Oh, yay! Yeah, because when you start to really take those layers away, they don't own you anymore. You don't have to be driven into insanity anymore, because the insanity is only controlled by the thoughts, which is controlled by the trapped emotions that are controlled by how it's hooked into the sensory system, which boils down to your energy. And now we understand more about what happened to your energy. All right. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Oh, look at all the love. Oh, guys, you're so sweet. Diana, you don't have to live that way. What I tell you, girl? You can either keep it, or you can do something about it. Now, sometimes we need to have it to feel it, but then don't waste it. Get rid of it. Oh, Marcy, you don't have to be alone, sweetheart. Oh, your mare? Wait, had a night like. Well, yeah, and I understand we need those crying jigs, and we need those craziness, but you understand it's trapped emotions that drive you nuts. Okay, regroup. I just felt it was so important for you guys to get this today, because I have watched people go through so much. Oh my God, I can't believe they're being mean to me. And the pain, the loss, the suffering at every level. Move from victim to victor by having all experiences serve as a purpose, as without these experiences we would not be who we are today. Absolutely. And the problem is also, if you don't take care of resolving out the past, your past is always your future. So when you live in the now, it's always the past. But the past doesn't really exist, because it's how you're hooked into the story, and it's usually based on emotions. Trapped emotions tell you what your past is. So you can help your brain, which creates the function of your life and your body, by resolving those trapped emotions. People don't get it. Some people look at me and go, emotions have nothing to do with your life. And I'm thinking, keep learning. Okay, now, Miss Gordon, would you like me to do it like this? Do you want me to call you? Do you have a specific thing that you want me to check? What would you like, dear? Because this is the fun part. And each time Like when I give you a 2-minute read, yes, they can be wonderfully spot on, but when you get into doing the readings, especially the one-on-ones, you really can move mountains. So we'll see what Miss Gordon wants. And her life has just been moving along beautifully, and she keeps me updated, and I'm so happy that she's healing and growing. And that's you can tell when you really are getting into it, because some of those emotions, you're just pulling those babies aside and saying, I'm done. I can choose a better emotion to create this reality. Okay, I hopefully didn't freeze up. Oh, there she is. Thank you, Sharon. She says, on your show, it's fine. Everybody benefits. Let me turn on my little thing, and I'll give you a call as soon as it's set up.
Line in mode.
Hopefully you all heard that. All these wires, we might close that. Open that. So, again, don't be controlled by those trapped emotions. And when, loss, grief, you can do so much more living when you let those go. Well, there you are, sweetheart. Seemed like a long time since we chatted. She's become one of, really good friend of mine. She lived close in Michigan, where I lived. And we have some people that we know in common. Where's the button to? Must be just that one. Let's see what happens.
Battery low.
Battery low. What? No. No.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but my thing just said battery low. Hope that doesn't mean I lose you. Well, I would. So.
I can't see anything except your profile, but. Battery low.
Would that be better?
A little bit.
Well, hopefully this will work.
Yeah.
Oh,
we figured it out.
Yes. Okay, hopefully this will work. I don't know. It said battery low. If it doesn't work, then...
Battery low.
You be quiet. All right, maybe... You know what? Maybe if I did this way. All right, talk now, sweetheart.
Hello. What does Spirit want me to know today?
Can people hear her okay? Because I had to just unplug this because it wasn't even allowing her voice to come through. Well, I think it sounds nice and clear. Maybe if I move my computer over. Yeah, that'll work. Okay. So, I know we got a lot of talking to do, but yeah, we got to set the timer and we got to do this because we're live. Okay. So, just whatever. Oh, man, you got so much energy coming off of you. You have, did you dye your hair?
Unfortunately.
I love it.
Cut my hair. And next thing I know, it's like, oops, a little dark.
No. It frames your face good. I like it. Okay. Oh, you've been clearing your thoughts. That's good. So, now there are some subjects some people don't want to talk about. All of a sudden, somebody said something about love. So, is it okay to point out something, whatever it is? I'll be gentle.
Oh, sure.
Okay. All right. So they're saying that a part of your, how do you want to put it? Self-esteem. They want you to address the self-esteem because you've had so many battered experiences from the past that,
right.
you know, and you look pretty to me, but I think there's a part of you that's almost afraid to put some lipstick on and go outside and go, hello.
Well, for 21 years, it was forbidden for me to wear makeup, so I got used to not having any.
Okay, I get that, but let me tell you, when you dial, give your sense. Okay, they're telling me pamper. You have to change your thinking. The spirit.
But I did get a hug tonight.
Ooh, we're talking about right on cue. Okay, excellent. All right. So the one thing that pops up is that, yes, you don't have to wear makeup. You can be as natural as who you want to be, but as long as you begin to love yourself. Okay. And when you do that, you may have to, like, Spirit had me put up pictures of myself and, different positions. And every day I had to look at that picture and say, I love you. And then I had to look in the mirror and go, I love you. And I had to address all those things. I'm like, oh, I can't do that. Spirit says, hey, time to heal that. And you're like, oh shit, yes. And so what we're looking at is that love is beautiful, but they're saying that you're afraid of that loftiness. So that means that you have a picture of what you've had past relationships of, because they're saying lofty equals man, which means it's not always true, but you're looking for a pattern of, I don't want to repeat that again. So when a man has their muscles or they have that manliness, there's a part of it that's still attached to the last relationship. And so there's something they're asking for to be resolved. And so if I look a bit further, they said, when you went into that last relationship, you knew that you weren't quite compatible, but you did it anyway. Is that true?
That could be, yeah. I was trying to upgrade myself.
Well, sometimes upgrading yourself means yeah, you need to. Okay. The first time something bad happened in that relationship was him. Did he go hysterical as a way to throw his weight around?
Into a rage.
Okay. I don't have the word rage here, so yeah. All right, so the rage. Okay, that actually is a memory that's still stuck quite deep, they said, and because it's stuck in the self-talk, the internal dialogue with yourself, because you're trying to make sense of what just happened and you don't want to go nuts. Okay, and it was that rocky thought pattern. What do we want now? Okay, they said that experience is still in the etheric body. It's that energy that's right next to the body. And what's it doing? It changes the energy. So when your body is assessing the environment to see if it's okay, you'll say, oh, no, there's that time when he went raging, no. And so then that picture gets overlaid onto the new guy. Okay. And they're saying that the similarities of how egotistical one can look. Okay. And the thing is there is good guys out there.
There's few and far between.
We just got to get you. We just got to get you to attract them, my dear. I got mine 10,000 miles away. Just saying.
Yeah. You had a lot better results than I.
I've worked a lot hard too. I'm very hard, and you are working. You have been working on yourself, and your life has changed dramatically. Okay, now there's the panic. I just felt it. And it's like creating a restriction. So there's a panic to ego. Is there a particular trait? No. Well, let me look. There's something there. They're saying that there's a trapped emotion of crying. You never actually got to cry freely without being watched from that rage he did. Okay, so they really want you to heal that. So it's not about releasing that emotion with magnets, but with hope therapy. So if you go back to, when you get off the air, or you can even do it right now, it doesn't matter. Oh, okay. So the RTJP, it's that way you think other people think. You were forced yourself to think how he thinks in order to survive. So we need that to be corrected as well. And was the subject over money?
Yes.
Okay.
A lot of it. I made more money than he did. He didn't like it.
Oh.
But I made less.
Squish. Okay, so you had, in order to do that, you had to survive. You want her. So if she starts to clean up the crying, then she'll have to address this. So Where do you want her to? So you would, all right, so you got a pencil, or you can remember this if you want. Where's Ghosty with the mosty? I can feel Mr. Cat. Where is he? I can feel him.
Yes.
Oh. Okay, I can feel him close. But anyways, write down L2S.
There he is.
Ah. Now Ghost is her cat, and it comes up and loves to tell me things. And he'll look right at the camera. Do you have anything you need to add, Ghost, for Mama to heal? Oh, you do. You traded what? You traded panic for hysterical. What does that mean, Ghost? Okay, so get your paper. You need to write this down. You need to put L2S, and that is the hysterical aspect of when that moment happened, okay? They're saying everything was fine, then that moment happened, and you never got to cry about how that shock happened, okay?
Right.
Now, what Ghost just said was, okay, you traded hysterical for panic. So you then become, your automatic reaction is to constantly panic. And you and as long as so you don't want to feel panic, so you then created the self-talk of, I have to discourage myself.
Yep.
All right, thanks, Ghost. What do you want her to do there? The R1S. R1S. Now, does that have to do with the RTJP? No, the RTJP, you also have to heal where you have to think how he thinks, and that is R2D, because it says that you gave up your happiness, and they said they want you to have your happiness back when it comes to relationships. Okay? And they say the reason that you took on to think the way he thinks was because you had a lack of control, and because that's the energy of fear, okay, that because he controlled it. This here is stopping you from having this new love life type thing.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay, so basically you're fine and all this and that, but then all of a sudden your body goes, do you remember this? And you may not realize you're thinking it, but it's like you can smell it, you know it, and you're like, oh, I see that. Oh, warning signs. But they're not true warning signs.
Alarm bells going off.
Yep, just heal that particular thing. As you begin to heal that particular thing, then you get to see him, and then you get to really see if there's something that you should be warned about. All right.
Okay.
Those three things. Anything else? The energy about her. So is it okay to carry yourself that you're a fantastic woman? Or are you afraid to do that?
I can't quite believe that one yet.
Okay. So that's what they're referring to. Because they said that you learned that as a young child that, it goes back to money, it goes back to reputation, it goes back to that positioning. So that's felt all inside the body, they said. So what do you want her to do for that? So it says 2 years old, and it's that energy that you know so well. You know your place. That's the word. You know your place.
Yeah.
Okay, gotta get that out, girl. And so it affects the root chakra. It does, what is it? It causes a compulsion to do what? For other people to show up as self-centered pricks or bitches. And then it discourages you from, it becomes disheartened that you ever can be you. Oh, this is deep. This is deep. So how do you want her to heal it? Oh, it's a strategy you do to disrupt it. When you begin to know that you're putting other people's first and that all this is happening and that pattern starts out, understand it's a strategy, immediately hold R1D. You could tap it out, but at the same time, R1D, because you may catch it way after the fact. They said because it's a very old strategy. It's an incredible habit because, like I said in the beginning, when it becomes a knot to the left brain, you believe their truth even though it's not true. So they believe Okay, you know what I mean. That is what I want you to focus on. It's like, um, yeah. So you get that down as much as you can. And if you need me, you know how to make an appointment because I may try that new healing thing on you because I think you might be at that stage. But thank you. That was wonderful. And I do like the hair. And bye, Ghost. You know, I still think his name was Twink in one life.
He said once they wanted to be called Max, but he doesn't seem to fit Max.
Sorry, dude, that's not your name. All right, honey, we'll talk to you later. And happy healing. And if you do your best to get them all down to 0, okay?
Yep.
All right, bye, hon.
Thanks.
Bye. Bye. Oh, that's so much fun. I like that. So I will just double check to see if anybody else. All right, and hopefully you all heard that. Okay. Now, like I said, I don't know if any of you shared, I've been trying to figure out a new way to be able to, how do you want to put it? To be able to give back and give free readings. And so when they told me last time to do speed readings, I thought, speed reading, yeah, let's see if I can do that. But that's not what they meant. They meant, how about speed reading? And that is everybody gets, there's 12 people here, and we do 2-minute shots. So the only way this is going to work is that I have to follow an order. So as soon as I see the word here, that'll be the first person. What I've learned from last time is that because of the delay, depending on your internet, you could have typed here first, but it didn't show up on mine until after. So if that happens, and I started, and you may be above that, and I start here, then just say here again as quick as you can. Because that way, I'm not intentionally trying to ignore you or pick random. I'm going in that order. So we're going to do a 2-minute read. Speed reading. Please share. That helps out a great deal. Now, if I can get the screen to quiet. Oh, hold on. Come on, go back up screen. I just see my first here. All right, Paul. And then we'll go Marcy down. Okay? I think Leon after that. So remember, it's how I'm looking in the order. I got to set up my timer. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to go through and let Spirit, the helpers from the other side, what your soul's got to say. And we're just going to do a 2-minute. Okay? So Paul, let's go. Oh, you're so amazed. That's good. But get beyond that. What do we need? We're talking about habits. Guilt controls you terribly. Impending doom. So you run to the end of your timeline, impending doom. And a lot of this impending doom is because other people make you believe that bullshit. And then guilty because you didn't step up and do something. So you got like activists or something. I don't know what you really call them, but it's like expecting you to do something. And then because you don't do it, you create a self-abuse. But then you become very petrified. So the vulnerability comes up, scares the fuck out of you, causes you not to have courage. So you never get to step in the ring. But then you become hysterical, and then you're like, fuck this, and you go and do it. And then you battle with the who I was before, who I am now. And so I discourage, fuck you, this, that. So it's like, wow. So, you get in there and you whew. But then afterwards, you make yourself feel like shit. Okay, we really got to control these emotions. What is, we see all this pattern. Is there anything specific that's just mainly causing this? Self-centered people, you draw them to you because you have to resolve out guilt. So I would definitely say tap out guilt, resolve guilt, and if you can't do it, you make an appointment with me, and then we go to just work. Because guilt seems to overpower you. People have a lovely way of saying things in such a nice way of saying it, and the next thing you know, they really know what the hell they're saying because they're trying to force you to guilt you into doing their bidding. Okay, that's a pattern that you need to stop because all it does is causes you to be less than you are. It invalidates you. It takes away your voice, and then you have to do their voice. And We don't need you to become discouraged of who you are. Expect what? There's a part of you that expects the everything to be unstable. Ooh, and that's the thing that your body says, I'd rather listen to guilt because I don't like that instability. Well, I would say we want to look at what instability is. So the next person is Marcy. Oh, who's here? Blind man's bluff. Well, I see a blind man, then I heard blind man's bluff. Don't know what that is. Let's try this again. Oh, very self-conscious. Right and wrong, right and wrong, right and wrong. People are feeding into your head. People are feeding into your head. What age is this? 2 years old. So at 2 years old, you have a program that's running, and then it causes you to panic as the adult you are now, and then it causes people to show up to you and discourage you from, you should have done it my way. It creates the instability, well, a bit of the insanity, and it throws you back into the, oh my God, apparently you have a lot of those. All right, what's causing that? The lack of power. What's causing that? It goes back to being 2 years old, and it boils down to you also center yourself around self-centered people and to feel awkward. What can we heal so she doesn't have to be around self-centered people? Because there's a part of you that expected them to be there for you and they weren't. And because of that thought processing, you have to keep repeating that story so that you keep repeating people that do that and make you feel like worthless. And then you convince yourself that you have to be awkward all the time. Okay, so definitely would be getting right brain. It's the pictures. It's the pictures of the 2-year-old. So the picture is something that you remembered. So it's stuck in your head because you're deeply scorned. I would say remove that one first. And you'd be like, well, I don't remember how you remember what scorn is like. And if you begin to handle any type of scorn and you begin to heal that out, then you get to heal out the bullying, and then you get to heal out that disgraced, and you begin to heal out those emotional patterns, which then starts releasing the picture, because then you're going to have all those feelings will create pictures, and you get to build and resolve them down and out. And then you won't feel like you're in the lack of control because those emotions get resolved. And the next thing you know, you have more of your personal life force power back, which then causes a center of balance. So you don't have to blame others, or you don't have to see others blame you. You're the type of person that gets other people to blame you. And that is, we got to change that. Okay? You take on wow, shut up. You take on the blame. Definitely, even though I take on the blame, so they're saying EFT that out because you don't need that one at all. Please move screen without losing people. Leon, hey, dude. Okay, let me take a breath for a second. I know those aren't sexy, but that's all right. Oh, my stomach hurts like hell. All right, so I'm feeling, and those people that were here last time, they're here again, and they said deep down, you have been feeling attacked, and sometimes that feeling attacked didn't even come from the ancestrals. So it's the encoding. It's an encoding that you've carried in the bloodline. That oh, here we go. It says it has to do with self-conscious, the right and wrong. It's like Greg Braden always talks about when you're talking about ancestors, and what happens is that people will come in and start forcing my religion onto yours, so you override your religion, and and it's about your belief system, who God is, who Mother Earth is, nope, it's this, and it's like, so you're feeling attacked. It's old stuff, but it's lodging into your body. It makes things I swear to God, it's where you live. There's some place where you live, and you'll know it because all of a sudden you'll feel very uncomfortable, but your body's recalling something very specific that happened there, and it really causes your body to become imbalanced, whatever it is. And the habit is that your auto response of feeling the disapproval from that particular area, because areas and places will hold the story that happened. A lot of wounded pride. We can heal that because those are just trapped emotions making you have to repeat a particular story. And the self-conscious, oh, it's a not. It's not processing, as I was telling you guys. So you're taught, oh, how dare you be happy? You know, it's like somebody saying to you that you can't be happy. And the truth that happens inside the body, which is affects your nervous system and your meridians, is not happy. So that negative gets pounded into each time, which causes your body not to hold the light. We need to change that. Um, they're gone. Okay. Oh, well, thank you for honoring that 2 minutes. Okay. Amy Jensen. Here tomorrow, gone today. Wait, what? That sounds backwards. Who's walking backwards? There's something to do with something reversed. In reverse world? That's bizarre. What's that? Smelling coffee, but it's really tea. So your synthesizers are off? Yes. So you smell color and see numbers that represent color. Do you understand? It's like the synthesizers are off. In this, okay. At 5 years old, um, you had invented stories and to help you explain why people are very lofty. And these pictures are still in your head, and you don't really believe that belief anymore as you're an adult. So you're talking about an old program that's overlaying who you are as you're trying to look out into the world today. So you can't help, like with Sharon, you can't help that old pattern. So when you're trying to look at that, you have this old picture in front of you, and that's going to distort what you're actually seeing. They said they want that energy field. Would she use it to protect herself? No, she just was creating stories. But it's the way you define lofty. It's your words. As a child, you're like, oh, and I'm never gonna, oh, what was that? I'm never gonna be like them. Oh, so it was a very declaration. I'm never gonna be like them. And because of that declaration, it threw off your meridians in your body because it says that your acupuncture points, there are certain acupuncture points. Ooh. So your body has a habit of acting a certain way and behaving a certain way, especially an auto response. It's like, oh, let's go out to dinner, and all of a sudden, you're healthy, and then 2 seconds later you're throwing up, and you're like, I don't just understand what's happening. Your body is creating an auto response of not wanting to do something or to be somewhere. It's like when I saw this little girl, every time she thought to live in another state in the United States, and every time that they'd have to go back to the motherland, which was her dad's mother's house, there was a memory that her body's like, that was a bad experience. And so her body kept repeating it over and over. And it kept showing up physically. Okay. Sharon, ready? Oops. Here, kitty, 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 kitty. So you're looking, what are you looking for? As you're looking, oh my God, where are we going back? So like 3 years old, you were outside looking for this kitty and feeling were you feeling awkward at the time? No, something happened where you felt awkward. You could feel it in your field. Um, I don't know if bullies, because I feel bullies were like right there, right there. And as you're saying, here, um, so there's this particular recall. Is this an active memory? No, it's a recall. They're showing me an actual recall. So it's like a lens that comes in your space, like we had the other one before. But it's the story that you convinced yourself that I want friends. So you're willing to put up being bullied. And because you're willing to put up being bullied, then you became attached to these type of people. So that's the kind of people that you draw in as people that you want in your space. And you need to really disrupt that one. really need to disrupt that one, because the habit of having to be abused. It's like, oh, it's in my DNA. I'm supposed to be abused. No, no, you don't. You don't have to follow that pattern. I feel like that was on your mother's side as well, that she had to be abused. I don't know why. It was it her culture, background, ethics, color, whatever one of those things. But it was like, or a belief. It was a habit. Something you saw that this is what you're supposed to do, is attach yourself to people that are going to hurt you. God. Okay, feel that. Okay. All right, move. Come on, let's move. I see a Mary. Yeah, Mary Reardon. Uh, People, please share and put it into groups and things. Indifferent, indifferent. So sharing. So the more that you're afraid to share with people, and so you become very indifferent. That's why I had to say that in the beginning. Why? Because that word loftiness is up around everybody today. Um, so it's the power of, in this case, standing over, the power of taking from you. So is there a belief that a source greater than you can hurt you in such a way that it's taken away the love of your life, and there's some sort of pain, and deep down there is a part of you that holds contempt for that, even though there's a part of you know that's not true, but you didn't know how to process your pain, so the pain keeps coming back, and you keep getting slapped down because now it's just becomes a habit. And then you have another person, a person this time, that has that same type of energy. So you feel like you can't move out of the situation. So you have to keep taking the abuse, and you have to keep doing this pattern. It is a pattern. It is a pattern that happened at age 3 that, oh, it changed the ions. So you can't have positive or negative ions. You have to have positive ions, which is the unhealthy kind. And that is all based on being disapproval. So how you're taught that I disapprove of you is that not processed again, if you listen to the beginning of my show. And so you believe that nobody's ever going to approve of you, and so you have to settle. And that, I would say, we need to heal out, because it makes you very, I do right from wrong, right from, I mean, it's not right from wrong how you've learned. It's like, oh, it's whatever they believe is right and whatever they believe is wrong. Oh, but they just changed the rules. And then over here, it's different with that person, but then you're trying to, and so then you restrict yourself from going out into this space. Jennifer Margaret. Love that. Okay. There's a lot of pride issues. Um, your pride was hurt extremely at 3 years old, um, to the point where you knew that they got to you and they could manipulate you. And it's that manipulation process. And as the adult, you're like, yeah, I ain't gonna let that happen. But it's that little child that they got me. And it's that repetitive pattern. Oh, that's how you know they got you. And it's the pictures. It's in the pictures. The pictures are holding all of these. The right brain's holding all these pictures, and it created all of these stories to try to explain it. But they love me. It gets so confusing. They love me, but they're hurting me. They're hurting me, but they love me. And so if you're going to take that in a relationship, that's what you're going to have in the relationship, is that you're hurting me, but you love me. But I'm going to keep you away, but I want you close. No, keeps going on and on and on and on. And for you, because you know this work, you're going to hold R3S, R1S, and then L2D. Because the L2D is about that exertion of their power. It goes back to that moment. Remember, there is before happy, and then all of a sudden, when that's in the process, the beginning and in the process, that's where they want you to focus. It's not how you came out afterwards, because that's what you're correcting, but we need to go back to that moment. And they said that with that she believes it. Okay, so the R1S is about that letting go, and that is letting go of others. You know, you have to believe their story. You believe they're correct. They're more important than you, and that's part of the manipulation process. That's that energy that says, look at me, look at me, look at me. And then you're not allowed to look at yourself at all. And then you have to live through others. And if you don't, so again, you're stuck in that beginning of that process. I see a Catherine, but I can't get the thing to my nose. Just slowly, slowly. Catherine, yes, sweetheart, I see you. Catherine Clark. Oh my God. This is because you know what shame feels like. It's like all of a sudden, let's say you you posted something on the up on your wall, and all of a sudden you have all these haters shaming you. My nerves are starting to shake. They're saying that you have this particular shame experience at 2 years old. Shame on you for eating all those cookies. Shame on you. And it's like there's a name that they called you afterwards, and you put on that mask that actually changes how you have action in your world. It changes the way that you are compatible with people. It created in a development, arrested development, so you wouldn't be able to develop beyond. And now I'm just curious, what do they mean by that? You stopped yourself from ever feeling jubilant again. So you arrested yourself in that development of no. And so you want to go to before, during, and after? Not yet. You need to get her to what? Feel how you pick up other people's energies and you hold them as your own because you think that you have to live the way they feel so that it will work. So they're saying stop living the way they feel because it's actually beginning to hurt your body. And you become very self-conscious and, oh my God, this is the way. And so it goes into a knot. So you believe their truth. What's the truth? That one's not quite clear, so it's just saying that there's awkwardness about all this. So I don't have to go in that area. I'm sorry if it made you feel uncomfortable. Live through other people. Just go and begin to tap that out. I don't have to live through other people. And I don't have to take on that they blame me for their life turning out like hell. Okay? Let's see where we're at. Darn thing's not going to move. Mendy, are you still here? We're doing a 2-minute speed reads. Okay, so I'll give it to you, and then if you haven't got it, I'll just write you. Mendy. Anxiety, is it hers? Anxiety. You know it so well. They like to show me at the beginning of the anxiety, and they said that it's people that have contempt for you, or it's the story of feeling that people have disapproval of you and then have contempt for you, that the scorn is going to happen, that there's a party that's like, ugh! And they said that the governing meridian that goes up and over starts to go unzip itself, and you can feel pushing in, and so then your body starts to take on that. I'm going to tell you, put your finger in your forehead, finger in your belly button, push in and lift up, and start to imagine that you're zipping up here and zipping up this way, locking it. No one can get the key, and just literally allow yourself to feel that this egg that's being created around you is becoming nice and strong and can go out and build out, because you're feeling, if this is down, you're going to feel very paranoid. If this one's down, you're going to feel very vulnerable, and you're not going to feel very protected or safe. And they're saying that it's hard for you to get into a car or to go somewhere. There's something about going out, because now my adrenals are like going, extra cortisol. And you become very self-conscious. It's like, I don't know if you keep repeating. They're showing a repeating pattern, like I'm going to go out and change my clothes. Well, that's not correct. I wouldn't. And so it's like you have this process before you actually get to where you're going. So it's in the etheric field. And it's an auto response. You felt it so deep. What age is this? 3 years old. And changes the energy and the oscillation of actually doing something. Okay, let's see where we're at. Oh, come on, not working. Okay, Paul says my relationship with my girlfriend sounds like that. Marcy, we got you. Let's see. Oh, wonderful, thank you. Paul says thank you. Demi, are you okay? So if Demi's still here, okay. I'm not sure. Oh, here we go. Exactly. I don't know who's left. Hmm. Oh, oh, Mary, let me send you some love. Allison, I didn't give you a 2-minute read, so if hopefully you're still here. Um, because all this is happening. All right, so those that already got a read, thank you. Those that haven't, say here again. Say here, and then I will start. You're welcome, Jennifer and Robin. Robin, I will. Hopefully, you're still here. All right, so let's find out who the first person that said here. Oh, darn thing moved. Yeah. Diana, I can still give you a read too. All right, so Jenny Brown, then Raquel, Diana, Robin, please say here again. That'd be great. Don't know if you're gone. Stupid thing. All right, we're just going to go Jenny first, and then if you haven't got a 2-minute read and you'd like one, stay here so I can redo this again. Jenny. Oh, that's not right. Okay, they said there's an emotional repress. What's that about? Do people make her have an anxiety or make it? What do you mean make anxiety? What? Oh, um, make anxiety. Maybe you know what that is, but the thing is they're saying that whatever it is, and they could be two separate. No, they're together. It is affecting the way that your physical body is holding energy. And it says that the best thing for you is to look up TSING. Sing, and that is an acupuncture points, and these are the tips of the fingers and the toes, and you tap them, so it starts correcting your body to help correct it because they said that it's important that you do that. Um, it, this point right here is to help people that go into panic. You tap it, hold it. Wow, there's a lot of sweat going all of a sudden on me. So panic and awkward. It's like does it happen in all situations? No. Does it happen in particular? Where? Tell me more. Relationship with friends. You can't trust them? Tell me more. You most of the time they said that you feel like you have to have your defenses up because um, a lot of them carry this blaming energy, and you see their pattern, and the last thing you want them to do is turn the finger on you and say, I blame you for my problems, instead of them owning it. So you're famously, it says infamy, so you're famously known for being bad. So does somebody accused you of being a bad influence? Raquel. I hear summertime. I don't know, there's a song. Where you going? Expect limitations. Understand, if you expect limitations, the problem is that you're going to draw more limitations because that's what you're focusing on and that's what you're telling the universe to send you. You can understand that if there's going to be a limitation on certain things, it might be just how you believe in something, but see if spirit can teach you how to look at it differently. Find the third option, resolve it. Even if you have certain limb pieces, like for instance, you lost a limb or something, But you don't have to see it as a limitation. You don't have to believe there's a limitation. It may be a limitation that other people see, but you're, you can do an amazing things. Um, and so you have to heal the yearning for those amazing things, because yearning, if you're putting that out, that's all. And let's say that thing's coming, but because you have yearning, you're never going to get it, because you have your identity is, oh, I have to yearn for it. And so this pattern of energy is going to keep coming in and yearning for it, and it's going to repeat and repeat and repeat. When it keeps repeating in that fashion, then you're going to stop yourself, because that's the limitation. So even though I am yearning, you know, you can deeply and completely love and accept yourself. You can begin to change out that particular emotion. Is there another one? Feeling what? Confused. Uh, just heal out. Even though I'm feeling confused about what this woman is saying, I'm feeling really confused about what I should do with my life. Confusion is an emotion. Emotions control your thoughts, and that controls your world, your inner world, your outer world. It's everything you see. It's what you draw to you. Heal those out. Get a little bit more spiritual education and help you see things in a different way. Hmm. Robin, did I read you yet? Oh, there you are. Robin. Helplessness, feeling contempt, large intestine, rejection. Something about this is a pattern that continuously repeats itself. I don't know if you're conscious of it, but if you really looked, you can begin to see other people displaying this. And it changes the compatibility of you want your purpose in life. But now my sinuses all of a sudden are draining, so that means like there's some inner crying, and they're saying at 2 years old, so your 2 year old is crying, that the energy says outside of itself that it's unhealthy to do what you want. So I feel like at 2 years old, there was a part of you that had stopped you from allowing you to have to do what you wanted, and if that's the case, you then begin to apply it to other things. You know, let's say you can't play in the middle of the road. Well, if that's the belief, then you can apply it to things like, well, you can't be a ballerina, or you can't be. Do you understand? It that as a child, it won't make any sense, but it's called an engram, which means you apply it to everything. And they're saying that if you disrupt that particular pattern, then you don't have to apply it to your purpose of your life, because it's never too late to start your purpose. Awkward. Why are you hanging around awkward? Because awkwardness is what you're comfortable with, and you don't know if you want to change that yet. That's okay. Give yourself time. Thank you, Spirit, for helping Robin to look and to heal and to take that next step so that she's able to enjoy happiness again. And if she don't want it, that's fine. Okay. Salamander. I love that. Oh, I haven't seen you in a while, dear. Um, Salamander. Oh my God! You know, the weird part is that there's indigestion the underneath in my back where the bra line comes around. It's like that's where the adrenals are. That's like where the muscles, like your hairdresser. Turn it on. Very good. They're saying that this, like if you have to have your arms up, there is the way the muscles and the fascia are very tight. Um, and if I ask why are we talking about that, they said that aggressive energy, the aggression energy, that's who she is, or the salamander is. He, she, I don't know if you are. So it's like you had to put on this mask and this persona. This is who I have to be. And they're saying, yeah, at that time, but time to take that particular mask off, and you use assertiveness instead. And but then there's a party that panics if I take that off, and it's the uncertainty, because then you're going to bump up with people that says, "Oh, you're doing it the wrong way. This is the right way. You shouldn't be like those other people." And the thing is, who do you follow? Family? Follow your heart, follow spirit, get connected, allow yourself to be, listen, and to, once you begin to feel that love in your heart, the more you'll start going, wait, what? And you want to start to go after what you feel is best for you, because you were born into that body. No one else was born into that body. Uh, what's the habit? You holding on to your pride and getting very hurt. That's a personal thing that needs to be actually resolved, not to overcome, because the root's going to stay there. But the pride, that's like they know how to control you. It's like they know that's the button we should push. Well, you need to take that button out so that you can stop having people push that button on you. Oh, come on, move. Miss Patterson, would you like a little 2-minute speed read? That's what I'm doing right now. If so, say here. But anyways, again, I'm so thankful to all of you. If you can share and put it into groups and put the word of mouth out there, that's awesome. But I do my best to do. I figure since it's so, and if you do share, I'll give you a card. You hit love, I give you a card. We all need a little love and guidance, and we all need to help each other. Ooh, Diana, you're next. We all need to take that next level together. If I'm climbing that mountain and I see you're struggling, I'm going to lift you up. And I'm hoping that we can be in sync, that you're going to reach behind and help me to the next level, because we're walking each other home, and sometimes climbing those mountains can be very scary, treacherous, but doing it together, and by remembering who we are, you can then do it just with love. And all the rest of the people can just fall away. Okay? Alrighty. Diana. You've had to build a persona of defensiveness around you because of hers? Because of other people's pride. How dare you hurt my pride? And it's like you have people that are blamers. They put fingers at you and they blame you for their world that stinks. But yet, oh, they're so calm and they're cool and they're collective. My life's good. You're the one that's fucking it up. And that your word doesn't matter. So you've had to change your behavior since birth? Wow. Tell me more. Excessive what? So you've had, in order to live in the world that you chose, you had to do false self-assuredness. Okay, it's okay they treat me this way. So it's like a self-justification, but it's false self-assuredness, so that you keep pushing yourself into doing the same pattern. And they say if you become aware that you live through others, you can start and just say, no, stop. When you begin to feel like you need to live through, no, stop. Get a rubber band, snap your wrist, and stop. Do some breathing exercise. Stop, because it's because they played upon. And again, this sounds like blaming, but you asked for their souls to show you this, and that is on your self-esteem. But right at birth, tell me a clue besides excessive indecisiveness. So that's the meridian. That's the gallbladder meridian. The gallbladder meridian keeps kicking off, and because you lived in a world where everybody said they were certain, and that made you feel uncertain, and that can be changed and addressed. And for Diana, I would say R1S, because it's the invalidating that happens. You become disheartened in all of this. Look that word up, find the keyword, hold that point, R1S. Okay? see what else we got. Don't ever want to move. Aw. Thank you, Diane. I appreciate it. Okay. So I had a wonderful day with you guys. And I'm hoping that you guys enjoyed the 2-minute speed read. I'm trying to figure out how to give back to people. And those that had paid for reading, I should double check. See, nothing else happened. Nope. That's good. You can set up an appointment anytime to work on stuff. I'm not that expensive. The longer you work with me, and time-wise, it's cheaper. But, you get to know me, then you can get into the program. Yeah, we'll talk more about that later. Anyways, the whole point is that you guys did great. Thank you for sharing this to get the word out. Thank you for listening to my story. And like always, stay blessed.